Today, we're making an animatronic of the most cursed character imaginable, Shin Sonic.
Shin Sonic is an evil version of Sonic the Hedgehog, and his design is so disturbing that we had to see if we could bring him to life.
I feel like our projects keep getting more and more cursed, and this one is like the most cursed you could ever get.
I mean, we've made some weird stuff before, some really messed up stuff, but this thing is gonna get crazy, so get ready. So I've been trying to figure out how to make Shin Sonic, and we were at Home Depot, and they have Christmas animatronics now. And look, they had this festive Mickey. And we got this one because we realized there's actually a lot of similarities between these two.
Exhibit A, similar height, freakishly large head, white gloves, rodent-like snout, and giant feet.
So we'll start with Mickey. We're gonna turn him into the absolute abomination that is Shin Sonic.
First though, we need a plan.
Okay, for the giant head, I'm gonna start working with Josh, our 3D modeler, to figure out how are we gonna sculpt and then 3D print it, because it's huge and super weird. He's got the huge hedgehog spikes in the back. He's got obviously the huge creepy mouth and multiple layers of nasty teeth and the creepy eyes. Like, this is gonna be hard to make.
While you're doing that, I'll start to work on the body. So we'll strip it down, make any modifications that we need, and then we'll start to create his final form.
Are you gonna paint it blue or put fur on it?
Come on, it's me. Of course we're gonna do fur. Okay, so Mickey has this like classic pose where he's just like,
So, okay, Shin Sonic has a bunch of forms, different evolutions and stuff, but usually he's kind of leaning forward, right?
Uh-huh.
What if you took this and spun it backwards? Shin Sonic's butt is right here and he's kind of leaning forward.
It's like this instead of this.
Let's plug him in backwards and see like what
How
it
he
looks
moves?
like.
Okay.
Yeah. Why isn't it working?
I don't know.
Did you break it already? Oh, we need the motion sensor.
Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house,
You quiet.
not a creature was stirring.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, he's just rotating. Is the head gonna work if we put it on the other way?
Sure.
What I really want to do is make this leg go backwards so that it looks like he's running and not this thing. So I'm gonna see if Jay will cut it and then weld it for me. Hey Jay, I need you to drop everything and weld Mickey's leg on backwards.
Welding? I love welding. It's cold. It's finally cold here in Texas. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna chop this off. We're gonna make it go this way, more or less. I gotta grind some paint. I gotta weld some things, cut some stuff. Let's do this. That's a lot of sparks. I put like an extended piece on here to make it longer. These were little cutoffs that we had from Captain Cuts, you know, the pirate guy that we made Foxy out of. And I kept them, and I'm glad I did, because we made them a little taller, and now we should be able to take this piece, there we go, over here. I welded like a little extension piece on here, and we're gonna do something like this for his second leg. And that should work pretty good. It'll give him more of like a gotta go fast kind of thing, you know? Does Shin Sonic say that? Shin Sonic just eats people. He doesn't go fast. I don't know. Okay, I think this worked. Come on, go in there. Look at that. He's taller and he's running.
Perfect.
Thank you.
This looks so much better. Like he's walking now.
You know what's wrong though?
Huh?
Since we rotated him backwards, his hands are backwards.
Oh yeah.
And they're too short.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Those two things don't go together. Oh, hello there. I feel like I need to pick one of those things.
Well, yeah.
Let's make some arms.
Since this is done, I'll start making the body. So I've got these pool noodles here, and we'll put these on the leg, and then I'm gonna have to make the torso. See this nub? It's in the way. We must get rid of it. There we go. Duct tape. Solves everything. Ha! Yes.
What's next?
The butt.
The Shin Sonic butt?
Yes. Butt.
That looks more like, you know, like underwear.
I mean, it's this.
Underwear is not the same as a butt.
Okay, it's the underwear. I was gonna like make a pattern out of the fake foam and then transfer it to some nicer foam, but you know what? This is working just fine, and if I cover it with enough duct tape, it's gonna be great. And we're just gonna use this.
Hey, that's looking good.
Thank you. I'm trying to give him a little bit of shape, some form, like I gave him some thighs, a little kneecap. So this character kind of reminds me of Catnap a little bit. You have the long limbs, you have the giant head, and as far as like the body anatomy goes, the most defining feature is the rib cage. So we're gonna use some extra foam and like really pull out those ribs, and hopefully they will show up under the fur.
Hey, look at that.
That's amazing.
We got hands, and the arms are a good length. Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Test.
Okay. All right,
Is this plugged in?
go.
Oh.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, I guess next we gotta do up the arms.
Give him some sort of shoulder thing. His hands look so freakishly big with these little skinny arms. I'm almost done with the body, but these feet are just too big. So I made a new foot out of foam and tin foil. And by foot, I mean shoe. So I took this, and then what I did is I made a pattern off of it. And now what I'm gonna do is take this duct tape and transfer it to EVA foam and make the real foot.
Mickey's feet would have been fine if we were making regular Sonic, but Shin Sonic's feet are much skinnier.
I feel like I'm behind this.
You are behind him.
I'm too short. Let's be like right here.
Yeah, there we go.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. This looks really good, though. You're gonna put fur on it, right?
I am, and that's gonna make him look less skinny, which is good, but I think the shape will still like show through on the fur.
Okay. Okay, first off, this is really heavy, which means that our head, our Shin Sonic head, can be really heavy too. And I don't know what's inside this, what's able to, you know, move this giant head around, but let's find out. Oh. Ooh, look at this. This is 1, 2, 3 servos, which means this is a 3-axis head mechanism. I didn't even realize it moved in all 3 axes. That's awesome. If I take this off. Oh, goodbye, Mickey. That's an animatronic head mechanism that we can transplant into Shin Sonic's head. And the fact that this little thing could move that giant heavy thing, very cool. Shin Sonic's head is crazy. He's got a huge mouth with 2 rows of teeth on the top and bottom for some reason, 2 creepy little eyes which are staring into your soul. It's full-on nightmare fuel, as it should be. So my job is to figure out how to make the head, and my first step was to reach out to the creator of Shin Sonic, Evan. Anyway, he was really happy to help out, and he gave us some custom artwork of Shin Sonic that we could use as reference. Once we had some art direction, we worked with our friend Beardless Props, who's an amazing sculptor and modeler, to create our own 3D version of Shin Sonic's head. That way we can make it fit our animatronic exactly, but also make it 3D printable. The modeling took about 2 weeks. We went back and forth a bit to try to get like the size and the shape right and kind of the expression on the face, but I think we're ready to start 3D printing. But before we do that, I got some new stuff here I want to try. This is called lightweight 3D printing filament, lightweight PLA, and it's normally used for like model airplanes and drones and stuff that flies and has to be like really light. So I was thinking, since we always have problems with things being too heavy, what if we print the head out of the lightweight stuff and maybe it'll be, you know, lighter weight. It might work. When you're printing giant stuff, you have to break it up into smaller pieces, but that's okay because we'll glue it all back together after. Not including the teeth, there's about 20 giant pieces for this head, so this is gonna take a long time. So I started printing some of the pieces with the lightweight PLA and immediately had problems.
How'd it go?
This is kind of a disaster so
Oh no.
far. It's all stringy and gross, and it is extremely lightweight though. This is like as light as paper. So that's good, except watch this. Have you ever eaten a Pringle before? It's harder to break a Pringle in half than it was to snap this in half. Okay, I did a bunch of research and I found out that the stringing and the kind of weird, gross finish is just like not really a thing you can get rid of if you're printing like super weird parts. Some pieces will print out of this, some other pieces we're gonna print out of normal stuff, and we'll see where we get. Ta-da! Look at this! After like a solid week of printing all these pieces, some of them several times, I think we have everything we need, so let's put this thing together.
Beautiful.
Remember this thing? We have to mount it somehow. So we built this thing, which is sort of like a replica of the mounting holes that were in Mickey, and we're gonna kind of go like, something like that.
With these threaded inserts, we can basically melt them into the plastic so that we can use real metal screws to hold everything together.
Now we're gonna take this mount and put it on here. And look, should we test it? Despite our best efforts, this is really heavy. And we haven't even put on the back of the head, or the fur, or the mouth, or the teeth. Oh man. Okay, here we go.
It's
Okay, the height is pretty good. Okay, that works. All right, I'm gonna turn it on.
Okay.
If it's gonna break, it should break now, and we can fix it.
Yes.
Go. Do something. Why does this never work when we need it to?
I don't know.
Oh, there it goes. It looks like it's working.
Yes.
Okay.
Success.
Is that good? That's good, right?
Yes.
This is it. This is the point of no return.
It's forever after this.
Okay. It's so big. There it is. Oh, it's so heavy. Fur. Is this the same fur we used on Huggy Wuggy?
This is actually the leftover fur from Huggy Wuggy.
Huggy Wuggy?
Huggy Wuggy. Yeah, so I'm not sure which way we want to go on Sonic. We have two options. We can use the short fur, or we can attempt to shave the long fur and make it short fur.
You want to shave this?
Yeah.
I kind of just want to see you do that. So what is this one for?
Okay.
Fur. What is this fur?
What's this fur for? I did not look at the reference art, and I was like, Sonic's belly is beige. Shin Sonic's belly, not beige. But like his mouth is, so I got like 3 yards of fur for
like one
mouth.
of beige right around his mouth?
Yeah, so we're gonna do this outside so we don't make a huge mess inside. So when I was looking at doing Sonic's fur, I watched a ton of fursuit makers shave fur on their suits, and it looked really easy. Turns out, it makes a huge mess, and it's really hard to get it nice and even. It's very mangy looking. This fur does not all go the same direction. What do you think?
Okay, so we've got smooth, shiny leg, and then kind of mangy leg. They honestly look the same from here, so let's just go with the one that doesn't give us cancer from the microplastics.
Okay, I like that answer.
That shaving is gross.
It's terrible. I could just start gluing the fur on, but because the blue fur does not stretch, and this is a really weird shape, it's gonna work so much better if we make a pattern first. I'm gonna make my pattern out of duct tape, but because I don't want my duct tape to stick to the duct tape, we're gonna cover him in plastic wrap first, and then the duct tape. I went ahead and made patterns of all of the rest of his body parts, like his arms and his legs, and cut them out so they are now flat. And what's cool about this is now I can take all these patterns and transfer them to the fur. All right, pattern, fabric, worked pretty well. Now I just gotta make a bunch more of these.
That was quick.
It's Sonic, you gotta go fast. I'm gonna use hot glue, which is the best thing in the world because it dries so fast, and pin and glue. So I gotta put the fur on this, but first I have to do the whole duct tape pattern thing again, and this is a really weird shape. So let's get started.
Whoa, that was fast. How'd you do that so fast?
That is the power of editing. Isn't he beautiful?
Every project has like an awkward phase where it just looks real weird for a while. I don't think this one's ever gonna come out of that phase.
No,
it's
it's
so
not.
weird.
So in the movie Sonic, he's got long hair that kind of starts almost between his eyes and then goes back, but then like the rest of his face is short.
This guy doesn't have any ears.
No.
It doesn't matter what we do. This is gonna look so cursed and just so weird.
That's beautiful. There's a lot of pieces here. This is gonna take me all day to cut all this stuff out. And some of these I haven't even flattened all the way because his lips curve in this weird way. Yep.
This is a new 3D printer we got, but this is a resin printer, which is different than the kind we normally use. Instead of building it out of tiny layers of plastic, this one actually uses UV light and then pulls it out of this tank filled with liquid resin. It's a bit more involved of a process, but you can get incredible detail that's just not possible with the other way we do it, which is gonna be perfect for Shin Sonic's teeth. The printer we got is called the Form 4 from Formlabs. I've been practicing a little and I made these miniatures for our D&D game, and look at how detailed these things are. I'm very excited to paint these. So we start with the 3D models of Shin Sonic's teeth, and we bring them into their slicer called Preform. We add some supports, pick our settings, and hit print. Instead of printing it up from the bottom, it actually pulls the print out of this resin tank one layer at a time. The print is finished, but they're still covered in wet resin, so next we're gonna clean it all off with this next machine called the Form Wash. When that's done, the final step is to cure the resin. These little teeth are actually still kind of soft, so to fix that, we put them in the Form Cure, which is basically a UV light chamber, and this is gonna completely cure the teeth. And voila, look at that. Look at the detail on these teeth. It's crazy. We did have a resin printer before, which I've used, but I don't really like it. It's like really messy and very smelly. But this one is totally different. We just like sort of hit a few buttons and everything comes out perfectly. So I'm a big fan of this again. I'm excited to learn more. For now though, let's get to painting these teeth.
The teeth kind of seem like a small part of the overall project, but since Shin Sonic's mouth is like his main feature, they are definitely important. It was a lot of fun to take our time and really try to make his mouth look horrifying. It's weird to paint the inside of the mouth before it's all put together, but if I didn't do this first, I wouldn't be able to reach around the teeth and the gums.
So I base coated these red, and I want to finish painting them before I glue the teeth in because it'll be easier that way. I won't have to worry about getting paint on the teeth. So my goal for this is basically to make it look as gross as possible. What do you think? Are they gross enough?
I think so. I mean, we're gonna make it slimy, right? Like all gross.
Yeah, we'll put some shine on it so that he has wet gums.
Okay.
Now I have to do the second one.
When I get old, I'm gonna get double row dentures just to mess with people.
I love it, but I hate it.
I know, it's so disturbing. Like, it's so freaky, but I can't stop staring at it. So I printed out like a bunch of eye textures of all different like shapes and sizes and stuff, but I think we're gonna go with this one right here. And basically this is gonna fit in the little hole. And then we're gonna take this thing, which is called a cabochon, it's a piece of glass. And if we put it like that, it gives it like a 3D effect. So we just have to glue all this stuff in.
It's really hard to make eyelids with fur because it's so fluffy. So instead, I'm gonna sculpt some on with clay.
So here's our fur. This actually did take me like a full day to cut out everything, but we've got our long stuff, we've got our short stuff, and I'm going to start in the back with his spikes.
Haha,
Ah, spikes.
it's so weird looking.
Okay, yep, there we go. I got him, got our boy.
I think the fact that you can barely lift it is,
It's a great sign. It's all positive. Nothing negative could happen from the weight.
except,
This.
yeah.
Give him a
We'll
give him a
do
haircut.
something. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Why does he look like the Lorax?
I don't know.
I speak for the trees.
It's Shin Lorax.
Shin Lorax.
The beard was cute, but it had to go. I spent the next few hours shaving fur and adding details, and even after that, it just somehow keeps getting weirder. For some extra grossness, we made the teeth all slimy and wet with some glossy paint, and even used some glue to give him some dripping saliva. A little hair gel to give him that mangy look, and he was done.
Huh?
That turned out amazing. I love it.
It's so weird, you guys, but it came out really good, right? Although, are you ready to hear how much it actually weighs?
Yes.
13.5 pounds. It is not gonna work. It's way too heavy.
It's gonna be fine. It's fine. We'll put it on. It's gonna work. But before we put it on, we just want to say thanks y'all for watching.
Let us know what weird thing you want to see next in the comments, and until next time, stay wicked.